Had a few people ask about the basics of using the pen tool to create a path. So we're going to start off with just a blank document to talk about some of the basics. If you're unfamiliar with, of course, I'm just using the regular pen tool. Now my cursor is enlarged a little bit more than yours would be, just so you can see more clearly. Up in the options bar, I want to make sure that I'm on the second button, which is paths, and that I'm just on the regular pen tool. So basically, the basic concept of the pen tool is to think of it like you're connecting the dots. So if I want to simply draw a line, I click once where I want the line to start, move over, and click a second time I want the line to end. Notice how this dot or anchor point is still solid. That means unless I tell it otherwise, I'll keep going. And basically all I do is anytime I want to change direction is when I click. Now because I'm doing a series of single clicks, it's creating straight lines. Once I get to the point of getting close to where I started, see that little circle that just appeared beside the pen tool? That tells me that I'm about to make a closed path, and now I could start drawing another one. If you ever want to just draw a single straight line like this, you want to make sure that that dot isn't solid, because if it is, again, if I tried to start a new line over here, it's going to join them up. So what you need to do, a very simple technique, and people talk about this all the time when you hear them talking about paths, they'll say just either command click or on Windows control click, which simply means hold down the command key or control key in Windows. It temporarily gives you the pointer. You click once, that will deselect that path, and now I can make a new one. So if I want a series of lines, I just make sure I do that each time. Of course, if you want to make a perfectly straight line, you would throw in the shift key, and that will make it perfectly straight for you. So that's kind of great if all you're ever doing is drawing, living in a completely rectangular world. But of course, the reality is we also make curves. And here's the difference. If I want to draw a curve, then I simply click and hold the mouse. And right away I'm telling Photoshop something different. As I start to drag, this line that I'm dragging is called a direction line. And that tells Photoshop I still want to start the line here, or the path, but I want it to go up on this kind of angle. So now that's still my starting point. If I move wherever I want the line to finish, or the path to finish, I again click and hold. That's assuming I want to go to another curved anchor point, and you see as I drag up and down, it determines the height of the curve and the angle. Anytime while you're working, you can always hold down that command or control key, and now that lets you do several things. Move the anchor point itself, or move the handles, or even click right on the path itself, and it will adjust both handles at the same time. Now where it gets kind of tricky is, let me just start over again. If I were drawing a path, see how there's not only a handle going up, there's also a handle coming down. So the problem is that if I try to draw a straight line over to here, it's not going to work because it's going to see that direction handle going down. So anytime you want to drastically change the curve, hold down the Option or Alt key, click right on that point, and now if I move over here and click, you'll see it will make a straight line. On the opposite theory, if I want to now create a curve from a straight line, I do the same thing. Click and drag like I was drawing a direction line, come over here, drag, change, do I want to change direction again, Option or Alt click, straight line, straight line. Let's make a curve this way. So you get the idea. Straight line, and close it off there. Oops, I should have done a straight click Option or Alt click on this line too to make sure it was straight. So now I have created a path, which once the path is made, then I can start doing other things with it. Now that was intended just to be a quick overview. Before I stop, let me show you one thing. Bring in this so you can see it. Here's the paths palette. When you create a path like this, it's considered a work path. Of course, even at this point, I can go back and make adjustments to it if I need to. But at a certain point, if you want to make sure this is saved, then it's a good idea to just double click to rename it something, and that means it's actually saved with a name other than work path, so then you can come back to it later. Now in part 2, we'll take a look at how you can actually use the pen tool as a way of making a selection of something. So once you've created the path, you can do lots of things with it. Make a selection, fill it, do lots of other things, or just simply do things that have no sense whatsoever and just display the paths to, I don't know, that's just strange. So we'll see you in part 2. I'm Dave Cross. Bye for now.